Scan out, I'm Lindsay. This is your sewing kit you have received. Inside your kit, you will have your fabric, you will have your pattern, you will have your ribbons. Your thread and your heat and bond. Iron your fabric so there's no creases and no lines, and make sure it's nice and flat. With the good side facing down, put your pattern on top of your fabric and trace it. You can either use pen or pencil, do not use marker. When you're done, you can start cutting. Save your excess fabric for a rainy day. Turn your fabric right side up and measure out where you want to put your ribbons. There's no right, there's no wrong. Whatever way you want is fine. Lay your ribbons down with the shiny side facing down. You want to put your heat and bond on the not so shiny side. Measure out your heat and bond and cut. Make sure the heat and bond is centered in the center of your ribbon so none of it is hanging over the edges. Firmly press the heat and bond to your ribbons, and then you can peel the backing off. With the good side of your fabric facing up, place your ribbons where you would like them and firmly press them to the fabric. Make sure you leave at least an inch at the bottom for our edge. When you have your ribbons right where you would like them, it's time to iron them on. Make sure you iron only on the fabric, or your ribbons will stick to whatever you're ironing on top of. Now you can trim your ribbons, leaving about 1/4 of an inch so we can fold those over later. In your kit, you will also receive an additional 3 ribbons. The smaller ribbon will be for the neck, and you can measure that later, and the other 2 will be for the sides to tie. You will fold over about 1/2 inch around the whole perimeter and then iron so it will stay like that. And that's what we will be sewing. It's time to get our sewing machine ready. We have to do the bobbin. Following the steps on top of the sewing machine and threading the bobbin, you push it on and put it over to the side. Pressing the foot pedal will feed the thread onto the bobbin. The bobbin will stop threading when it is full. Place the bobbin in its case, following the instructions on the sewing machine. Place the cover on for the bobbin. Follow the 4 steps on the sewing machine to thread your machine. Time to thread that needle. Get your glasses out if you need them. I always use a scrap piece of material and sew that first. Inspect your fabric and make sure it's good to go. Time to sew on your ribbons. You will sew each side of every ribbon. And make sure you set your speed. If you're more advanced, you can go fast, and if you're a first-time sewer, make sure you go slow. And don't forget to backstitch every single time, when you start and when you finish. Sewing your ribbons is so much fun. You guys can also change out the color of your thread if you have more at home, but in your kit we have only included one color. Next we will pin on the ribbon for the neck piece of our apron. Make sure you measure it so you know how long you want your apron to be. We have given you quite a bit of extra, and we don't want it to be too long. Time to start sewing our apron. We will start at the top where we have pinned the neck piece of our ribbon. Remembering to backstitch at the beginning and at the end, and now you can take out your pins and trim off your excess thread. Time to start sewing the rest of our apron. When I get down to the side, I'm going to pin on my ribbon, and that will be for the ties. You can do this step prior to sewing, or you can do it while you're sewing. I like to do it here so I can get a better look at it. It's a personal preference. You can choose to do whatever you like. I'm going to backstitch right here, seeing as when I sewed on my ribbons, it already gave me a hem on the bottom. If this didn't happen to yours, just keep going and sew the bottom piece as well. You can pin your other string on now. I usually wait until I'm closer, but again, personal preference. While you're sewing on your side ribbons, you can also backstitch a few times, and that will make it more secure, or you can just do it the once. We're almost finished. Don't forget to backstitch. Try it on and look at your masterpiece. Congratulations, you did it.